Sorry, that was my daughter.
I
Yeah.
have a daughter.
Yeah.
She's going to be 6. My daughter is grade 1. She will
Yep.
be 6 in just 2 weeks. And I know she's also curious, but I said, you
Oh
know what,
yeah.
I'm going to talk a little bit about languages. I
Oh
have
yeah.
an interview.
I totally feel you. I'm like, here comes my 7-year-old, like, can I play the computer? And I'm like, what are you doing? Not right now. So my question, oh, what was my question? I totally had a question. Oh, yes. What advice would you give to for parents who are raising their kids in a different cultural context? If they want to keep their their native language alive, what advice do you want to give to them to make their kids excited about speaking it?
Yeah, so again, it's very difficult to give advice or suggestions because, as I said, every family is unique. We may
Mm-hmm.
have mixed culture marriages when only one of the parents would be, proficient in the minority language. So again, I guess it totally depends on your specific family context and what you would like your kids or your children to be able to achieve, right? Because again, some parents, they have very high expectations. They would
Mm-hmm.
like their kids to be fully proficient and have literacy in that language.
Yeah,
So
not
they
just speaking and listening, but writing too.
so they send their kids to heritage schools and they try to kind of force them and push them so that they will be developing in different areas. Whereas other parents, they tend to be more lenient and they have low expectations, and they believe as long as they can communicate with their extended families, and extended family in Ukraine, and in Canada, as long as they can keep up or keep some ties with the community, that's all they need. So they don't really have any high expectations in terms of the second or third language. Again, I had families who speak both Ukrainian and Russian, so definitely it's very difficult to maintain 2 languages when your kids is in the English or French speaking environment. However, one of my research findings was actually very surprising because what some of the parents are using is what we call in ESL would be translanguaging. So again, this is not a deficit approach, not a deficit theory, but basically we try to look at the linguistic repertoire of our students, and we are trying to build on that. So whatever languages they can speak, we can see if that can help them learn English, right? In any way, in literacy again. And I've seen the same in this context when parents were trying to, even though they were following their English or Ukrainian or Russian only in the family, but they also mentioned that English has a place in their, family communication. It's not possible to isolate. It's not possible to just say we use Ukrainian or Russian only. So again, it's a mix of languages, and they're okay with that. And I guess that's the most important takeaway from this. Don't be very, don't try to be, I would say, idealistic. Try to be realistic, right?
Right.
So again, as long as your kids are comfortable, as long as they have the desire to, maintain and speak the language of the family, I guess that's a great achievement already in itself. And definitely, they're willing to have more. They're willing to learn more. Then I think parents will have to again motivate and encourage, but no punishment. Again, no strict rules like no English, because it's natural for them to switch languages. It's for kids. It comes naturally to use whatever languages they know in one specific context with maybe one particular person, and we cannot just control that. It's out of our control. So again, my best advice would be just to let it go, let them learn, but don't set any strict and high expectations. On the other hand, my research topic is not just about one's heritage or one's home language. But I believe that since we talk about, diversity, inclusion, variety of cultures, it all begins with the family. It all begins with the parents. If parents can encourage their kids to respect and acknowledge and celebrate their parents' language, Ukrainian or Russian or whatever language of origin they have, then these kids, I think, will be more likely to acknowledge and respect and celebrate other languages and cultures in their outside of their family, in their community, in their school. So I think that's the other goal. Just again, let your kids experience different languages and let them understand that they're all equally important, and we have to equally celebrate. So we cannot say that one language, because it's official, will have a high value or high social capital if we talk about theories, right?
Right.
So that was again my discovery, one of the findings.
I love that you mentioned the importance of not seeing the home language or the heritage language as like a deficit. Something's wrong with this kid. We need to fix them so they can speak the language that they're supposed to. It's so detrimental to a student's sense of belonging in the classroom and really feeling accepted for their cultural identity. And I think that we're still, at least in the United States, I can't speak to the Canadian context, I think we're a long way away from truly understanding the value of bilingual education. We see bilingualism as a problem to be solved instead of as an asset that it really is. Students, from your own research, the students who are bilingual and they get that support in both languages, it helps all academic outcomes.
Exactly, yeah.
But besides, we shouldn't just be concerned about the academic outcomes. We should care about their socio-emotional well-being. Honestly, that's kind of from my view, maybe it's my bleeding heart, I think that's more important than the academic stuff. The academic stuff is nice, but I think that we really need to care about helping kids grow up to be whole people.